presented by Soundlibra.com. Explore more titles via the link in the description or at Soundlibra.com. Welcome to Second Act Success. Ready to embrace your next chapter?
That's right, Alex. This is the podcast where we explore how to reinvent yourself at any age and build a life filled with purpose and joy. We're so excited to embark on this journey with you.
Before we dive in, a quick note. We'll be talking about mental health and personal growth today, but please remember this isn't medical advice. Always consult with a professional for your specific situation. Now, many people reach a certain point in life and feel that pull that it's time for a change. It's that feeling of, is this all there is? Or, I know I'm capable of more.
And it's completely normal to feel that way. We often think that once you've hit a certain age, you're kind of set. But the truth is, the concept of a second act isn't just for people who are retiring. It's for anyone who feels a calling for reinvention, for growth, for something more meaningful. It's about recognizing that your experience, your wisdom, and your desires are incredibly valuable.
Precisely. Think of your first act as building a career or raising a family. That was crucial work that shaped who you are. Now, you might feel a stirring for Act 2. This second act is your opportunity to explore passions, pursue dreams, or create a life more aligned with your deepest values. It's about consciously deciding what your next chapter will look like.
And I think sometimes the biggest hurdle is doubt. We can be our own harshest critics. We might tell ourselves we're too old, too inexperienced, or not good enough to make a significant change. Alex, you've mentioned the importance of confidence. Can you tell us why that's so central to this process?
Absolutely. Confidence is the bedrock. Without it, even brilliant ideas can remain just ideas. Confidence isn't just about believing you can do something. It's about believing in your inherent worth and your ability to learn and grow. It's about trusting your instincts and understanding that your past experiences have equipped you with a unique toolkit of skills and resilience. We're going to spend time building that inner confidence because it's the fuel that powers every step of your reinvention journey.
So it's not just about what you do next, but about how you approach it, and that internal belief is key. It's like learning any new skill. You wouldn't expect to be a master painter on your first try. You start with a canvas and brushes, and the belief that you can learn.
That's a fantastic analogy, Lisa. And that's exactly what this podcast is designed to do. Provide you with the mental tools, the practical strategies, and the encouraging mindset to not just think about a second act, but to actually live it. We'll be exploring how to identify those deep-seated desires, how to overcome mental blocks, and how to leverage your unique experience as a massive advantage.
It's so empowering to hear that, because those transferable skills, the ones we might not even realize we have, often become our greatest assets when we're exploring new territory. We might think we need to start from scratch, but really, we're often building on a solid foundation.
You've hit on a crucial point, Lisa. Your experience is your advantage. We tend to underestimate the value of what we've learned. The problem solving, the communication, the leadership, the resilience. These are fundamental human capabilities, and they are highly transferable. Throughout this series, we'll be teaching you how to identify and articulate these skills.
And it's not just about your career, is it? A second act can also be about personal fulfillment, pursuing hobbies, or contributing to your community in new ways. It's a holistic approach to designing a life that's truly yours.
Exactly. It's about crafting a narrative that feels authentic and exciting to you. We'll be talking about vision boarding, about setting clear goals, and about taking those courageous first steps, however small they may seem. We'll also delve into the power of your network, those connections that can open doors and offer invaluable support.
And what about when things get tough? Because reinvention, as exciting as it is, can also be challenging. There will inevitably be setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when you feel like giving up. How do we navigate that?
That's where resilience comes in. We'll be equipping you with strategies to bounce back from setbacks, to learn from them, and to keep moving forward. It's also vital to remember that you don't have to do this alone. Finding your tribe, that community of like-minded individuals and supportive friends, can make all the difference. We'll be exploring the power of community and how it can sustain you through your journey.
So, to recap for our listeners, this series, Second Act Success, is all about embracing the idea that life doesn't have a predetermined end point. It's about recognizing your potential for change, building your inner confidence, understanding the power of your existing skills, and actively designing a future that aligns with your passions and values. We'll be covering practical steps, mindset shifts, and the importance of support systems.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. This is your invitation to step into your next chapter with enthusiasm and purpose. It's about creating a life where you feel engaged, fulfilled, and truly alive.
I am, and we're so glad you're here with us.
Next episode, the Midlife Crossroads, recognizing the call for change. Welcome back. Last time, we embraced the idea of starting the next chapter. Now, let's discuss the midlife crossroads and recognize the call for change.
That's right, Alex. This crossroads concept feels so relatable. It's that moment, often in our middle years, where we pause and really look at where we are and where we want to go.
Exactly. And this feeling doesn't always arrive with a fanfare. More often, it starts with subtler signals. We might experience a growing sense of stagnation. Things that used to excite us might feel routine. Have you ever felt that, Lisa? That sense of going through the motions?
Oh, absolutely. It's like waking up and realizing your favorite song sounds a little flat, or your work feels more like an obligation. You might find yourself daydreaming more or obsessing over what ifs. It's this internal whisper that something needs to shift.
That's a perfect description. And these whispers can sometimes turn into louder calls. We might feel a persistent unfulfillment. It's not necessarily unhappiness, but a deep-seated yearning for more meaning or purpose. This often comes with a desire for something that feels more authentically you.
I think what's important to highlight here is that this feeling isn't about running away from something. It's about moving toward something. It's not an escape from a bad situation, but an active pursuit of a life more aligned with our evolving selves.
That's such a crucial distinction. And sometimes societal pressures can make us hesitant to embrace this call. We might have built a life, a career, and the idea of disrupting that can feel daunting. We worry about what others will think or if we're too old to start over.
It's true. There are these unspoken timelines and expectations for where we should be at certain ages. And if our desires don't fit neatly into that box, it can create internal conflict. We might hear a voice saying, "Be grateful for what you have," and while gratitude is essential, it shouldn't silence our desire for growth.
Precisely. So, how do we start to identify these internal cues? What are the actual signs that it's time to consider a change? Beyond stagnation and unfulfillment, we might notice a growing disconnect between our daily lives and our core values. Things we once cared deeply about might no longer resonate.
This disconnect is a big one. For example, if you've always valued creativity but your current role is purely analytical, you might feel that dissonance building. Or if community has always been a priority, but your work keeps you isolated, that sense of something being off will persist. It's about noticing where your energy is being drained.
And this can manifest as a loss of passion or excitement. Remember that spark you used to have? If that spark has faded significantly, it's a signal. It's your inner self nudging you, saying, "Hey, there's more out there for you. Let's find it."
Another telltale sign is a frequent contemplation of alternative lives. You might be scrolling through social media or reading a book.
Welcome back to Second Act Success. Last time, we explored the midlife crossroads and learned to recognize the powerful call for change. Now, we're diving headfirst into what many consider the biggest hurdle of all, deconstructing doubt and building your inner confidence toolkit.
That's right, Alex. Doubt can be such a persistent roadblock when we're thinking about reinventing ourselves. It whispers all sorts of discouraging things, doesn't it? Like, are you sure you can do this? Or what if you fail?
Exactly. And these aren't just idle thoughts. They can feel incredibly real. For many, this manifests as imposter syndrome, that nagging feeling that you're not good enough or that you're somehow fooling everyone around you and will eventually be found out. This is particularly common when we're venturing into new territory, trying something completely different.
Imposter syndrome. I think so many people listening will nod their heads to that. It's like you're standing on the edge of a new opportunity, excited, but then that voice pops up and says, "You don't belong here."
It really can paralyze us. And fear of failure is, of course, a huge companion to doubt. We worry about wasting time, resources, or worse, facing public embarrassment if our new venture doesn't pan out. This fear often stems from past experiences or even from the way we were raised, where mistakes were often met with harsh criticism rather than encouragement.
So, if doubt and fear are such common companions on the path to reinvention, how do we start to build that inner confidence toolkit? Where do we even begin to dismantle these strong internal voices?
We begin by understanding that confidence isn't just something you're born with. It's a skill, something that can be cultivated and strengthened. Think of it like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Our first tool in this toolkit is awareness, recognizing when doubt is creeping in and understanding its roots.
So, the first step is just noticing it. Like, there's that doubt voice again.
Precisely. Instead of just letting it run the show, you pause and acknowledge it. You can even give it a name in your head or imagine it as a little gremlin on your shoulder. This creates a little distance between you and the doubt. Once you're aware, the next powerful tool is reframing negative self-talk.
Reframing negative self talk. This sounds like tackling those discouraging thoughts head on.
It is. Our brains are wired to notice threats and potential negatives. So often our internal dialogue is inadvertently critical. If you catch yourself thinking, "I'm no good at this," try to reframe it. Instead of, "I'm no good at this," try, "I'm learning this," or, "This is challenging, but I'm making progress." It's about shifting from absolute, often unrealistic, negative statements to more balanced and achievable ones.
That's a great practical tip. So, instead of saying, "I'll never be able to do that," you'd say, "I haven't figured out how to do that yet."
Exactly. The yet is a powerful word. It implies future possibility and learning. Another crucial tool in our confidence toolkit is focusing on transferable skills. Remember in episode 4, we discussed how your experience is your advantage? This is where that really comes into play.
That's right. We talked about how the skills you've gained in one career or life stage, like problem solving, communication, leadership, are invaluable in another.
Absolutely. When doubt tries to tell you you're unqualified for something new, remind yourself of all the skills you already possess that are directly applicable. Deconstruct the new role or ambition into its core components and see which of your existing skills match. This builds confidence by highlighting your existing strengths rather than focusing on perceived weaknesses.
So, even if you've never formally done this specific new thing, you've likely done things that are very similar in principle.
You've absolutely done things that are similar in principle. And this leads us to another vital practice, celebrating small wins. When we're embarking on a big reinvention, the end goal can seem so far away that we overlook the progress we're actually making. We need to intentionally acknowledge and celebrate every little step forward.
This is so important for momentum, isn't it? It's easy to get discouraged if you only focus on the massive mountain you have to climb and forget to appreciate the ground you've already covered.
Precisely. Did you learn a new piece of software? Celebrate it. Did you have a productive networking conversation? Celebrate it. Did you simply get through a challenging day without letting doubt derail you? That's a win. These small victories act as powerful evidence against your inner critic. They build up tangible proof of your capability and resilience.
So, Alex, to recap for our listeners, we've talked about a few key tools for deconstructing doubt and building confidence. First, becoming aware of our doubt and its origins. Then, reframing negative self-talk into more balanced and forward-looking statements. We also touched on leveraging our transferable skills to remind ourselves of our inherent capabilities. And, crucially, celebrating those small wins to build momentum and reinforce our progress.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. These are not quick fixes, but consistent practices. Building confidence is a journey, and doubt will likely resurface. The goal isn't to eliminate it entirely, but to develop the tools and resilience to manage it effectively, so it doesn't prevent you from pursuing your second act. Remember the principles of self-belief we touched on earlier? These tools are the practical application of that foundational work.
And by consistently applying these strategies, we're essentially building that inner strength that will support us as we shift our identity and start crafting our new narrative, which we'll explore in upcoming episodes.
Absolutely. The more we practice these confidence-building techniques, the more natural they become, and the less power doubt will hold over us. It's about actively cultivating a more positive and realistic self-perception, one small victory at a time.
This has been incredibly practical, Alex. Equipping ourselves with these confidence-building tools feels empowering.
It is empowering, and it's essential. Building that inner confidence is the bedrock for taking those brave steps forward. Next episode, we'll be talking about how your experience is your greatest advantage, focusing on the power of transferable skills. Welcome back to Second Act Success. Last time, we navigated the tricky terrain of self-doubt and started building our inner confidence toolkit. Now, we're going to unlock a treasure chest that's been with you all along, your experience.
That's right, Alex. We often look at our careers and think about the specific job titles or industries we've been in. But what we're really going to focus on today is how those past roles have equipped us with a powerful set of abilities that can be applied anywhere. Today, it's all about your experience being your ultimate advantage, focusing on the power of transferable skills.
Absolutely. Think of it this way, Lisa. You've been collecting tools throughout your life, not just job-specific tools, but universal tools. These are your transferable skills. They're the abilities you've honed that can be used in many different contexts, regardless of whether you're switching careers entirely or pivoting within a similar field.
So, it's not just about what you did, but how you did it and the underlying abilities you developed while doing it.
Precisely. Let's break down what these transferable skills really are. They fall into a few broad categories. You have your communication skills, speaking, writing, presenting, active listening. Then there are your problem-solving skills, critical thinking, analysis, finding creative solutions. Think about leadership and teamwork skills, managing people, collaborating, mediating effectively. And don't forget organizational skills, planning ahead, managing your time, seeing projects through to completion.
It's like a Swiss Army knife of abilities. You might have been a teacher, and the skills you use to explain complex topics to children, manage a classroom, and communicate with parents are incredibly valuable in a corporate training role, or even in managing a team.
Exactly. Or consider someone who is in event planning. They aren't just planning parties, they're managing budgets, negotiating with vendors, coordinating logistics under pressure, and engaging with diverse groups of people. These are highly sought-after skills in project management, marketing, and operations.
So, the first step for our listeners is to identify these skills within their own work history. How do they go about doing that?
The best way is to reflect on past successes and challenges. Ask yourself, what were my responsibilities in my previous roles? What specific tasks did I perform exceptionally well? What challenges did I overcome? And what skills did I use to do so? When I received praise, what was it for? What did I enjoy most about my work? And what skills did those aspects require?
And it's important to dig a little deeper than just the surface level job description, right?
Absolutely. A job description tells you what you were supposed to do. Your reflection tells you how you did it and what skills you actually used and developed. For instance, if your job title was administrative assistant, you might have been responsible for scheduling meetings. But in doing so, you likely honed skills in complex calendar management, proactive conflict resolution when conflicts arose, and effective communication to confirm details with multiple stakeholders.
That's a great example. So once they've identified these skills, the next hurdle is articulating them. How do they talk about these transferable skills in a way that resonates with potential employers or collaborators in a new field?
This is where a method for explaining your experience can be incredibly helpful, often called the STAR method. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. You describe a specific situation you were in, the task you needed to accomplish, the actions you took, highlighting your transferable skills, and the positive result you achieved.
So, instead of just saying, I'm good at communication, you'd frame it like this. In my previous role as a project coordinator situation, I was tasked with ensuring all stakeholders were aligned on a critical product launch timeline task. I proactively organized weekly update meetings, created concise email summaries of key decisions, and facilitated open Q&A sessions to address any concerns. Action. This resulted in a cohesive team, a successful product launch that met all deadlines, and positive feedback from all departments on clear communication. Result.
Perfect. You've just demonstrated strong communication, project management, and stakeholder engagement skills without using any jargon or specific industry terms that might be unfamiliar in a new context. You're focusing on the actions and the impact.
And this applies whether they're updating a resume, crafting a cover letter, or talking in an interview.
Precisely. On a resume, you can rephrase bullet points to highlight these skills. Instead of managed office supplies, try managed resources and inventory to ensure operational continuity. It sounds more strategic and transferable, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It elevates the description of the task. And what about marketing these skills? How do they make sure others recognize their value?
Networking is key. When you're talking to people in your desired new field, don't just talk about your old job title. Talk about the problems you solved and the skills you used to solve them. Ask them about the challenges they face and see where your transferable skills can be a solution. You can also use platforms like LinkedIn to showcase projects or achievements that demonstrate these skills, even if they weren't directly related to your traditional job.
So, viewing your past experience not as a closed chapter, but as a rich library of skills waiting to be rediscovered and reapplied.
Exactly. And this is particularly empowering for those approaching what society often calls midlife or later career stages. The longer you've been in the workforce, the more extensive your collection of transferable skills is likely to be. Don't let age or a long tenure in one area limit your perspective. It's a sign of rich, diverse experience.
It's about reframing your narrative. Instead of, I'm too old to learn X, it becomes, I have Y years of experience solving complex problems, which is directly applicable to learning X.
That's the shift in mindset we're aiming for. Think about it this way. Imagine you're a chef who has mastered many cuisines. You understand the principles of flavor, texture, and timing. If you decide to open a bakery, those fundamental culinary skills are still incredibly valuable, even though the specific dishes are different. You bring a deep understanding of food science and preparation that a novice baker wouldn't possess.
That's a wonderful analogy. This focus on transferable skills builds directly on the confidence we were discussing last time. When you can clearly see the value and versatility of your experience, your confidence naturally grows.
It does, because you're not starting from scratch. You're building upon a strong foundation of proven abilities. It's about recognizing that your past work wasn't just about earning a paycheck. It was about building a robust skill set.
So, to recap for our listeners, your experience is a deep well of power. The first step is to actively identify your transferable skills, the communication, problem solving, leadership, and organizational abilities you've gained.
Then, learn to articulate these skills effectively, using methods like the STAR technique to demonstrate their application and impact in real-world situations.
And finally, leverage these skills strategically through networking and by reframing your professional narrative. See your past not as a limitation, but as a launch pad for your exciting next chapter.
This is such a crucial step in reinventing yourself with confidence. By understanding and showcasing your transferable skills, you're not just looking for a new job. You're positioning yourself as a valuable asset ready to contribute in new and impactful ways.
It's about seeing the forest, not just the trees, of your career.
Exactly. And that's our powerful takeaway for this episode. Your experience is not a roadblock. It's your biggest advantage.
In our next episode, we'll be diving into the exciting process of shifting your identity, moving from what you were to who you are becoming.
That's next time on Second Act Success. Welcome back to Second Act Success. We've hit episode 5 already, and things are getting really interesting. Last time, we talked about how all the experience you've gathered isn't just a resume builder. It's a powerful toolkit of transferable skills.
That was such a game changer, Alex. Thinking about my years in project management, I realized so many of those skills like planning, communication, problem solving are the foundation for almost anything I want to do next. It really built on the confidence we discussed earlier.
Exactly. And that leads us perfectly into today's topic, which is perhaps one of the most profound parts of reinventing yourself, shifting your identity. We're talking about moving from what I was to who I am becoming.
This feels like the heart of it, doesn't it? Our careers can become so intertwined with who we think we are. When that anchor changes, it can feel unsettling, even a little scary. We're not just changing jobs, we feel like we're changing ourselves.
You've hit on a crucial point, Lisa. It's very natural for our professional roles to become a significant part of our personal identity. For decades, we might introduce ourselves by our job title. It's often the first thing people want to know.
And when that's no longer the primary descriptor, it leaves a void. It can feel like a loss of purpose, or even a loss of who you fundamentally are. I've heard people say, if I'm not that anymore, then who am I?
That feeling is completely valid. But the exciting part about a second act is precisely that it's an opportunity to redefine yourself, not based on a title or a specific role, but on a deeper sense of your evolving self, your values, and your passions. It's about embracing that evolution.
So, how do we begin to navigate this shift? It sounds like a big, almost philosophical undertaking.
It is, but we can break it down. The first step is recognizing and accepting that identity is fluid. We've accumulated so much wisdom, experience, and self-awareness. This isn't about shedding your past. It's about integrating it into a richer, more expansive present and future self.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Integrating, not discarding. So, instead of thinking of it as I used to be X, but now I'm Y, it's more I am X, and that has prepared me to become Y, and I am growing into Z.
Precisely. Think of your past professional identity as the strong roots of a tree. Those roots anchor you, provide nourishment, and are essential to who you are. But those roots also allow branches, your new endeavors, your evolving self, to grow towards the sun. You can't have the new growth without the foundational roots.
I like that analogy. It makes it feel less like a demolition and more like a sophisticated renovation, or even a new growth spurt. So, what are some practical ways to start detaching your self-worth from past roles?
One of the most effective methods is to consciously practice self-compassion. When you find yourself dwelling on what I was, acknowledge the feeling without judgment. Say to yourself, it's okay that I feel a sense of loss or uncertainty. This is a significant transition. This acknowledgement is the first step towards letting go.
That rings true. It's easy to beat ourselves up for not instantly knowing who we are in this new phase. Self-compassion seems like a vital tool for building confidence in this unknown territory, linking back to our earlier discussion.
Absolutely. Another powerful strategy is to actively cultivate new identities beyond your professional life. What are your hobbies? What are you curious about? What brings you joy outside of work? These are all pieces of your evolving identity. Maybe you become known as the amazing gardener in your family, or the person who volunteers at the animal shelter, or the one who masters a new language.
So, we intentionally start building new descriptors for ourselves?
Yes, and you do this by engaging in activities that align with these emerging interests. If you've always wanted to learn pottery, sign up for a class. If you're passionate about environmental causes, start volunteering. Every new experience, every new skill learned, is you adding another layer to who I am becoming. It's a process of layering, where each new experience informs and expands your sense of self.
And it's not just about doing these things, but about how we frame them to ourselves and others. It's about consciously choosing to identify as these new roles, even if they're just budding.
Exactly. It's also about understanding that your core values often remain constant, even as your roles change. Are you someone who values integrity, kindness, creativity, or problem solving? Chances are those core values have been present throughout your life, regardless of your job. As you shift your identity, you can align your new pursuits with these enduring values.
That's a great point. So, even if I'm not an engineer anymore, my value of meticulous problem solving can still be at the forefront of my new venture. It's the essence of me, not the title.
You've got it. And this is where your transferable skills become incredibly relevant. Those skills are often deeply connected to your core values. For instance, strong communication skills might stem from a core value of connection or clarity.
It's all weaving together. So, to recap this part of shifting identity, first, acknowledge and accept that identity is fluid. Practice self-compassion as you navigate this transition, rather than self-criticism.
Second, actively cultivate new identities by engaging in hobbies and interests. Don't wait for external validation. Create these new aspects of yourself through action.
And third, connect your evolving identity to your core, unchanging values, and leverage those transferable skills you possess. It's about building a narrative where your past experiences enrich, rather than define, your future self.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. This process isn't linear, and there will be moments of doubt or feeling adrift. That's normal. The key is to keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep speaking from this evolving sense of self. Who you are is not a static definition, but a dynamic unfolding.
It's about embracing the idea that who I am becoming is a far more exciting and empowering identity than who I was. It opens up so much possibility.
It truly does. And in our next episode, we're going to take this evolving sense of self and start crafting your new narrative.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to that.
Next episode, crafting your new narrative with vision board. Welcome back to Second Act Success. Today, we're vision boarding your future.
Vision boarding. It's like giving your dreams a physical form. We're Alex and Lisa, helping you embrace your next chapter. We've built a foundation of recognizing your crossroads, deconstructing doubt, and understanding your transferable skills. This vision boarding ties that internal work outward.
Exactly. Think of your vision board as a visual roadmap for your second act. It's a tool for clarifying your goals and motivations. Remember building inner confidence? This reinforces that confidence by seeing aspirations take shape.
So, how do we start creating this roadmap? It can feel daunting. Do I just grab magazines and cut?
That's a great start. Gather images, words, and phrases representing your desired future. This includes career, personal growth, relationships, travel, hobbies, anything that fuels excitement. Magazines are fantastic, but use internet images, drawings, or mementos too.
That makes sense. It's about getting clear on what success looks like for you now. It's not one size fits all, right?
Absolutely not. Connect this to what we've discussed. Remember identifying transferable skills? Your vision board should reflect how you want to use those skills. If you have leadership potential, your board might show you mentoring or leading a project.
Ah, I see. So it's not just wishing, but visualizing yourself doing things and being in places that use your strengths. That's an active approach.
Precisely. And remember deconstructing doubt. When self-doubt creeps in, a tangible vision board is a powerful counter. You can look at it and say, this is what I'm working towards. This resonates with me. It anchors you.
I can see that. It's a tangible reminder of your why. After gathering these pieces, what's next? Glue them randomly?
You can, but there's strategy. Organize your board. Divide it into sections like career, personal development, or relationships. Or arrange it artistically. The key is that it speaks to you.
So, no single right way to lay it out. What kind of images or words should I look for beyond what catches my eye?
Look for imagery that evokes emotion. Ask yourself, how does this make me feel? Does it make you feel energized, peaceful, adventurous, accomplished? You're collecting feelings. For words, choose affirmations and statements that resonate with your desired identity. Instead of just job, choose fulfilling career or creative freedom.
That's a great distinction. It's about capturing the essence of your goals. You mentioned being specific with aspirations earlier, building on transferable skills. How does that tie into vision boarding?
It ties in beautifully. Once you have your general collection, use the board to refine broader aspirations into concrete intentions. If you want to travel more, your board might show specific destinations. Then add words like planned itinerary or booked flights. This transforms a vague wish into an actionable plan.
So you're not just dreaming it, you're starting to outline how you might achieve it. That's empowering. It moves us from passive dreaming to active intention setting.
Exactly. It's the bridge between knowing what you want and actively pursuing it. Remember the concept of shifting your identity from what I was to who I am becoming. Your vision board is a powerful external representation of that becoming. It's a visual declaration of your evolving self.
I can imagine putting this up somewhere visible, maybe in your office or bedroom wall, and glancing at it regularly. What's the purpose of that consistent exposure?
It keeps your goals top of mind. Your vision board acts as a constant North Star. It reinforces your belief that these outcomes are attainable. Seeing them visually helps you internalize that possibility. And it can be a source of motivation. When you feel a dip in energy or face a challenge, looking at it can reignite your passion and drive.
Okay, so we've gathered materials, organized them, focused on emotions and specific intentions, and put them together. Then what?
The beauty of a vision board is that it's a living document. As you achieve goals or your aspirations evolve, update it. Don't be afraid to swap out images, add new words, or create new sections. It's a dynamic tool. Think of it as an ongoing conversation with your future self.
That's a wonderful way to put it. A conversation with your future self. So, to recap, vision boarding creates a visual roadmap for your second act. It clarifies goals, reinforces confidence, and makes aspirations tangible by gathering images and words that evoke desired emotions and outcomes. We connect it to our transferable skills and shifting identity, making it personal and actionable.
And remember, the process itself is as beneficial as the final product. Taking time to reflect, dream, and visualize is a profound act of self-care and self-direction. It's about actively shaping your narrative. This exercise moves us from vague desires to concrete intentions, preparing us for the bolder steps ahead.
So grab those magazines, find that poster board, and let your imagination run wild. You are not just dreaming your future, you are actively designing it.
Next episode, we'll talk about the courage it takes to launch into this new narrative. Welcome back to Second Act Success. Today, we're building the courage to launch your vision.
That's right, Alex. We've done the groundwork, we've built our confidence, and we've painted a beautiful picture of what's next. Now comes the part that can feel the most daunting, making the move. It's one thing to dream it, another to start doing it.
Absolutely. And it's completely natural to feel a flutter of nerves or even a full-blown case of the jitters when you're about to step outside your comfort zone. Think of it like standing at the edge of a beautiful but unfamiliar landscape. You're excited about what you might find, but there's also that little voice asking, what if?
That what if voice. It can be a real roadblock. So, Alex, how do we silence that voice and find the courage to take that first step, especially when the entire journey ahead might seem overwhelming?
The key, Lisa, is to break that overwhelming journey down into a series of small, manageable actions. Instead of looking at the entire mountain you need to climb, focus on the very next step. If your vision is to start a new career, maybe that first step isn't applying for your dream job immediately. Perhaps it's researching a relevant online course, attending a single networking event, or even just updating your LinkedIn profile with your new aspirations.
So, we're talking about making the first step as small and as approachable as possible, like taking a single pebble out of a huge pile rather than trying to lift the whole pile at once.
Exactly. And by taking that small step, you achieve a few crucial things. First, you build momentum. Each small win creates a positive feedback loop. You gain confidence, and that confidence fuels your desire to take the next step. Second, you gather information. That research into a course or that conversation at a networking event will teach you more than just thinking about it. You'll learn what truly excites you, what challenges you might face, and perhaps even discover new possibilities you hadn't considered.
That's a great point. It's not just about taking action, it's about taking informed action. What if someone feels completely paralyzed by the fear of judgment or the fear of failure? That can feel like a much bigger obstacle than just a small task.
Fear of judgment and fear of failure are powerful emotions, but they often stem from a place of perfectionism or an all-or-nothing mindset. Remember how we talked about your experience being your advantage in episode 4? Your past experiences, even the ones that didn't go perfectly, have taught you resilience. You've learned how to navigate challenges. This new chapter is no different. Every successful person has faced setbacks. The difference is they didn't let those setbacks define them. They learned from them and kept moving.
So, we can reframe failure as learning. When we take a step and it doesn't work out exactly as planned, it's not a final verdict, but a lesson learned.
Precisely. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. You wobbled, you might have fallen a few times, but you got back up. Each fall taught you something about balance and steering. The same applies here. When you launch your new endeavor, you will learn, you'll adapt, and you'll become stronger for it. Lisa. Welcome back to Second Act Success. Last time, we talked about the courage it takes to launch yourself into a new chapter. Now, building on that bold step, we're diving into something that can feel daunting for many, but is incredibly powerful. leveraging your network.
Networking. Just hearing the word can make some people want to hide. But Alex, you always talk about it as a superpower for your second act. Why is it so crucial, especially at this stage of life?
That's right, Lisa. Networking often gets a bad rap, conjuring images of awkward cocktail parties and transactional exchanges. But for reinvention, it's less about collecting business cards and more about building genuine connections. Think of it as building bridges. When you're embarking on a second act, you need those bridges to carry you to new destinations and to bring vital resources back to you. Your existing network holds so much untapped potential.
So, it's not just about meeting new people, but also about looking at the people you already know in a new light?
Exactly. Your friends, former colleagues, neighbors, people from your kids' schools, your hobby groups, they all form a web of connections. They know you, they trust you, and they've seen you in action. They are your initial bridge builders. The first step is to simply make them aware of your aspirations. You don't need a perfectly polished plan to start talking.
Okay, so I have my existing network. How do I even begin to leverage them without feeling like I'm just asking for favors?
That's the key distinction. Genuine connection versus transactional asking. It starts with giving. When you reach out, the first thing you should consider is, how can I help this person? Or what can I learn from them? Ask about their work, their interests, share something interesting you've learned or accomplished. Make the conversation about them as much as it is about you.
That makes so much sense. It's about reciprocity, right? Like, if I'm genuinely interested in what they're doing, they're more likely to be interested in what I'm up to.
Precisely. When you do want to share your second act aspirations, frame it conversationally. I've been thinking a lot lately about making a change, and I'm really excited about exploring opportunities in the sustainable energy sector. I've always been fascinated by that. You're not asking for a job, you're sharing your passion and opening the door for them to say, oh, my cousin works for a company that does that, or I saw a great article about that recently.
That feels much less intimidating. So, in essence, we're reactivating dormant connections and letting them know about our new direction. What about expanding that network, reaching people we don't already know?
That's where strategic building comes in. Identify the industries, roles, or organizations that align with your second act. Then, think about how you can enter those circles. This could be through industry events, workshops, online forums, or even mutual connections. Reach out to people who are a few steps ahead of you or in roles that inspire you.
And when you reach out to someone new, that foundational principle of giving and genuine curiosity still applies.
Absolutely. When you connect with someone new, perhaps someone you admire in a field you want to enter, start by acknowledging their work. I've been following your work on X project, and I'm so impressed by Y. Then, express your interest in learning. I'm currently exploring a career transition, and your journey is very inspiring. Would you be open to a brief chat sometime about your experience?
So, it's about demonstrating that you've done your homework and you value their insights, not just their contact list.
Exactly. This leads to building meaningful conversations. A meaningful conversation isn't just about exchanging information. It's about establishing a rapport. Listen actively. Ask follow-up questions. Show empathy. When you make someone feel heard and understood, that's the foundation of a strong relationship, which is the core of valuable networking.
You mentioned mentorship earlier. How does seeking mentorship fit into this broader networking landscape?
Mentorship is a deeply valuable form of networking. A mentor is someone who has navigated a path you're hoping to follow. They can offer guidance, share lessons learned from mistakes they've made, and provide encouragement. When seeking a mentor, be clear about what you're looking for. Don't just say, will you be my mentor? Instead, I'm facing a challenge with X, and I know you have extensive experience in this. Would you be willing to offer some advice?
That's a great distinction. It starts with a specific request for advice, which can then naturally evolve into a more consistent mentorship relationship. And it's crucial to remember that this is a two-way street, even if the mentee is asking for guidance.
Indeed, a good mentor-mentee relationship is not solely about the mentee's gain. The mentor often benefits from fresh perspectives, a renewed sense of purpose, and the satisfaction of contributing to someone's growth. And often, The mentee can offer value in return. Perhaps you have a knack for social media that your mentor could use, or a fresh perspective on a particular challenge.
So, we're activating our existing connections, strategically building new ones, focusing on meaningful conversations, and potentially seeking mentorship. It sounds like a much more organic and less intimidating process when you frame it this way.
It absolutely is. And remember, building these bridges takes time. Don't get discouraged if immediate opportunities don't materialize. The goal is to foster genuine relationships. Over time, these connections will strengthen and doors will open. These are the people who will champion you, offer opportunities you might not have found otherwise, and provide support when you need it most.
It's like planting seeds, tending to them, and trusting that they will grow into something substantial.
Beautifully put, Lisa. So, to recap for our listeners, leveraging your network for your second act is about more than just collecting contacts. It's about nurturing genuine relationships. First, look to your existing circle and let them know about your new direction in a conversational way, focusing on what you can offer as much as what you seek. Second, strategically expand your network by identifying key areas and connecting with people who inspire you, remembering to show genuine interest and respect for their experience. Third, focus on having meaningful conversations that build rapport and understanding. And fourth, consider seeking mentorship by making specific, respectful requests for advice.
And always remember to be giving, curious, and authentic in your interactions. It's about building those vital bridges, one connection at a time.
Exactly. These connections are your support system, your source of information, and often the catalyst for your next big opportunity. Next episode, we'll explore the crucial role of continuous learning and growth in making your second act a resounding success. Welcome back to Second Act Success. Last time, we explored the incredible power of your network.
Today, we're diving into continuous education and why it's key to a fulfilling second act.
Absolutely, Lisa. Think about it. The world is changing at an unprecedented pace. Industries evolve, technologies advance, and the skills that were in high demand even 5 years ago might be different today. For your second act to be vibrant and sustainable, you need to be adaptable. And that adaptability comes from a commitment to continuous learning. It's not just about acquiring new job skills. It's about fostering a curious mind.
So, it's about staying relevant, but also about personal enrichment?
Exactly. It's about actively choosing to grow. Remember when we discussed transferable skills back in episode 4? Those are your foundation. But a second act often requires building new skills on top of that foundation. Continuous education is your tool for that. It's about upskilling, deepening your expertise in an area you already know, and reskilling, learning entirely new competencies for a different direction.
How do we even start identifying what we need to learn? It feels like such a vast ocean of possibilities.
That's a great question, and it brings us back to our vision boarding from episode 6. When you thought about the kind of life and work you want in your second act, what are the requirements? What knowledge gaps do you see? For instance, if you're moving into a more digital marketing role, you might need to learn about specific social media platforms, analytics tools, or content creation strategies.
So, it's a conscious process of looking at your desired future and backward engineering what you need to get there.
Precisely. And don't underestimate the value of curiosity. Sometimes, the most powerful learning comes from simply following your interests. What fascinates you? What problems do you want to solve? Pursuing those questions can lead you down unexpected and rewarding learning paths. It's about cultivating that growth mindset, believing that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work.
That growth mindset is such a powerful concept. It's the opposite of a fixed mindset, where you believe your abilities are set in stone.
100%. A fixed mindset might say, I'm not good with numbers, while a growth mindset says, I can learn to understand financial statements with the right resources and practice. And the good news is the resources for learning are more accessible than ever before. We're not just talking about going back to a traditional university, though that's an option for some.
Right. It feels like there's an explosion of online learning platforms these days.
There really is. Take online courses, for example. Platforms like Coursera, edX, Udemy, and LinkedIn Learning offer thousands of courses on virtually every subject imaginable, taught by experts. Welcome back to Second Act Success. Last time, we explored the courage needed to launch your new chapter.
And that courage is essential, Alex, because reinvention isn't always a smooth ride. There will be challenges.
Exactly, Lisa. Today, we're focusing on overcoming setbacks and building resilience. It's normal to face hurdles, but how you react truly matters.
So, what happens when things don't go as planned? Even after careful preparation?
Life happens. Imagine planting a beautiful garden, but an unexpected frost damages your plants. You don't abandon gardening, you adapt.
Right? You assess, protect, and find solutions. You adjust your approach.
Precisely. That's resilience. It's the inner strength to bounce back from adversity. Setbacks in reinvention are opportunities to learn, not indicators of personal failure.
That's a great way to look at it, reframing setbacks as data gathering.
Absolutely. Every challenge provides valuable feedback. Instead of dwelling on disappointment, we ask, what can we learn?
What are some practical ways to learn from stumbles and build resilience?
First, separate the event from your identity. A setback is something that happened, not who you are. If a business idea falters, it means that specific approach didn't work, not that you are incapable.
So, it's this attempt didn't succeed, rather than I failed.
Exactly. Then, analyze the situation. Were there issues with timing, execution, or the core idea? This is where embracing continuous education, as we discussed before, is key. Seek new knowledge to address weaknesses.
So, if a product launch misses the mark, perhaps more market research or a clearer message is needed. Identify the specific lesson.
Correct. Sometimes, the lesson is simply perseverance. Resilience fuels the courage to launch when the path gets tough. Success rarely happens overnight.
It's like climbing a mountain. You face steep parts and make slow progress, but you keep moving forward.
A perfect analogy. Resilience is a vital component of your confidence toolkit, helping you see challenges as puzzles.
It's shifting from why me to what can I do?
Yes. Also, surround yourself with supportive people. We'll discuss finding your tribe next, but a strong network offers encouragement and fresh perspectives. They remind you of your strengths.
They become your cheering squad, reinforcing your why.
Indeed, revisit your vision board or crafted narrative too. Remembering your future self anchors you to your purpose when setbacks occur.
It helps you connect the what that stalled with the enduring why.
And finally, practice self-compassion. Be as kind to yourself as you would be to a friend facing similar difficulties. Acknowledge your effort and be gentle.
So, to summarize, overcoming setbacks is crucial for reinvention. Build resilience by reframing challenges as learning opportunities, distinguishing events from identity, analyzing what happened, and leaning on your support system, all while being kind to yourself.
That's a great recap, Lisa. Remember, your experience is your advantage. Learning to navigate challenges builds a superpower that makes you more capable and confident for your second act.
Don't let the bumps derail your reinvention. Embrace them as part of the journey.
Next episode, Finding Your Tribe, the power of community and support. last time we explored resilience in your reinvention journey. Today, we're diving into finding your tribe.
That's so right, Alex. We've talked about building confidence and taking that first step. But sometimes that first step feels a lot easier when you know someone is walking with you. This episode is all about the power of community and support.
Absolutely. Think about it. When you're embarking on something new, especially a significant shift, having a solid support system can make all the difference. It's like planting a new garden. You have the best seeds and soil, but if you don't water them, weed around them, and protect them, they might not thrive. Your tribe is your watering system, your protective barrier, your gardening buddies.
That's a great analogy. So, Alex, how does someone actually go about finding this tribe, especially if they feel their current connections aren't quite aligned with their new aspirations? It can feel a bit daunting, can it?
It can, and it's a valid concern. The first step is often about intention. You need to be intentional about seeking out connections that will lift you up. Think about where people who share similar interests or goals might gather. This could be online or in person.
So, not just hoping it happens, but actively looking. Where might these places be?
Well, building on our last episode about networking, professional organizations related to your new field are a fantastic starting point. Attend their meetings, join their online forums. You'll instantly be surrounded by people who understand the language, the challenges, and the opportunities within that space.
That makes sense. You're finding people who speak your future language, so to speak. What about more informal groups?
Definitely. Consider local community centers, workshops, or classes in subjects you're passionate about. If you're looking to start a small business, perhaps there's a local entrepreneurship group. If you're exploring a creative pursuit, a writing group, an art class, or a makerspace could be ideal. The key is to find environments where genuine connection is fostered.
And I imagine these connections can offer more than just shared interests. They can provide accountability, right? Like, if you tell a few people you're going to finish a certain project by Friday, you're far more likely to do it.
Precisely. Accountability is a massive benefit. When you share your goals with your tribe, they can help you stay on track. They might gently nudge you, offer encouragement when you're flagging, or even celebrate your milestones with you. This shared journey reduces the feeling of isolation that can sometimes accompany a big life change.
And what about people who might seem a bit intimidating, like established figures in your new industry? Is there a way to connect with them without feeling like you're bothering them?
That's where the building bridges from our networking episode comes in. Often, you won't connect directly with the top person immediately. It's about finding those who are a few steps ahead of you, or those who are also in a similar stage of growth. They understand your current challenges because they've very recently navigated them. Think of it as finding your pit crew, not just the star driver.
Your pit crew. I like that. They're there to help you refuel and make essential adjustments so you can keep going. So, once you find these people, how do you cultivate those relationships? It's not just about showing up, is it?
No, it's absolutely about cultivation. Real relationships are reciprocal. It means being a good listener, offering support in return, and showing genuine interest in others. Don't just talk about yourself and your goals. Ask about theirs, offer your insights when appropriate, and be generous with your time and energy.
So, it's a give and take. You're not just there to receive. You're also a valuable part of their support network.
Exactly. And remember, not every connection has to be a deep, lifelong friendship. Some allies might be fantastic for brainstorming ideas, others for emotional support, and others for industry-specific advice. Your tribe can be a diverse ecosystem of support.
It's like a well-rounded nutritional plan. You need different vitamins and minerals for different functions. So, what are some of the types of support a tribe can offer during this second act?
Great question, Lisa. I'd break it down into a few key areas. First, there's emotional support. This is the cheering section, the shoulder to cry on, the people who remind you of your strengths when you're feeling down. They validate your feelings and your journey.
That's so crucial when self-doubt creeps in.
Absolutely. The second type is practical support. This could be someone offering to review your resume, brainstorm business ideas, or even lend a hand with a small task. It's the tangible help that can move you forward.
Like the pit crew making car adjustments.
Precisely. And the third is informational or intellectual support. This is connecting with people who have knowledge or experience that can guide you. They can answer questions, share resources, and offer different perspectives that you might not have considered.
So, emotional, practical, and informational. That's a helpful way to think about the different kinds of support we need and can offer. It's about building a network where you feel seen, heard, and encouraged.
Yes, and the sense of shared experience is profound. When you connect with others who are also navigating a significant transition, there's an immediate understanding. You don't have to over-explain your feelings or your situation. They get it. This shared journey creates a powerful bond.
And it reinforces the idea that you're not alone in this. Sometimes, even the decision to pursue a second act can feel isolating. Connecting with others who are on a similar path can make that decision feel more valid and less scary.
It absolutely does. It normalizes the experience. It shows you that reinvention isn't an unusual or impossible feat. It's a courageous and achievable path many are walking. And when you find your tribe, you find a source of ongoing inspiration. Their successes fuel yours, and your progress inspires them. It's a virtuous cycle.
So, to recap, finding your tribe means being intentional in seeking out supportive connections, whether online or in person, in professional groups or in formal settings. These connections offer emotional validation, practical assistance, and valuable information. And importantly, it's a reciprocal relationship where you both give and receive support.
Beautifully summarized, Lisa. Remember, this second act is a marathon, not a sprint. Having a strong, supportive community around you isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for sustained growth, resilience, and ultimately, success. Don't underestimate the power of your people.
Your people. I love that. It really emphasizes the connection and belonging.
And that sense of belonging is crucial for our next topic. Next time, we'll explore how to weave your passions into the fabric of your second act, crafting a life that is not only successful, but also filled with purpose and joy.
Looking forward to that.
Thanks for listening. Welcome back to Second Act Success. We've journeyed through recognizing the call for change, building confidence, leveraging your skills, and bravely stepping into your new narrative.
That's right, Alex. Over the past 11 episodes, we've laid the groundwork. Today, in episode 12, we're diving into integrating your passions, crafting a life of purpose and joy. This is where we weave all those threads into a cohesive tapestry.
Exactly, Lisa. So far, we've talked about finding a new path, but this episode is about more than just a job. It's about creating a lifestyle that truly reflects who you are now and who you want to become. It's about finding fulfillment, not just at your desk, but in every aspect of your life. This is about integrating your passions into your everyday existence.
That sounds so appealing. Often, when we think about reinvention, we focus heavily on the career. But what about the things that light us up, the hobbies, the interests that maybe got pushed aside? Are those just for weekends, or can they become central to our happiness?
They absolutely should become central. Think of it like this. Your second act isn't just about finding a new way to earn a living. It's about designing a life you love. And that includes making time and space for the things that bring you genuine joy and a sense of purpose. It's about moving from merely surviving your days to truly thriving in them.
So, it's about recognizing that passion isn't just a frivolous extra, but a vital component of a fulfilling life, especially in this new chapter. How do we actually start this integration process? It can feel a bit overwhelming to think about dedicating more time to something you love when life already feels so full.
That's a very common feeling, and it's a great point to address. The first step is really about awareness. We've spent a lot of time identifying your values, your strengths, and your transferable skills. Now, we need to consciously identify your passions. What activities make you lose track of time? What topics do you love learning about or discussing? What activities leave you feeling energized rather than drained?
That's a good way to put it, activities that energize you. I know for me, even something like gardening, which might seem simple, really recharges my batteries. It's a tangible outcome, and it connects me to nature. It's not a career for me, but it's a powerful source of joy.
Precisely. Gardening is a perfect example. It's about the inherent reward it brings you. So, once you've identified these energizing passions, the next step is to think about how to weave them into your existing life or your new life structure. We're not necessarily talking about a radical overhaul overnight. It's about small, consistent steps.
Like making a conscious decision to schedule that gardening time, rather than just hoping it happens?
Exactly. Or if your passion is something like writing, it might mean committing to writing for 30 minutes every morning. If it's learning a new language, it might be dedicating a specific. Embarking on your next chapter requires courage, vision, and a solid toolkit.
It's hard to believe this is our last episode. We've covered so much ground, Alex. From recognizing that midlife crossroads to really embracing our next chapter.
Absolutely, Lisa. And it all started with understanding that feeling of wanting more, that call for change. Remember the midlife crossroads, that moment when you pause and realize you're ready for something different, something more aligned with who you've become.
That really resonated with me. It's like standing at a fork in the road, and one path feels familiar but a little worn, while the other is unknown, a little intimidating, but also full of possibility.
Exactly. And the first step in taking that unknown path is building our inner confidence. We developed practical ways to challenge self-limiting beliefs and cultivate a stronger sense of self-worth.
That toolkit was essential. It's not just about feeling confident, it's about having concrete strategies. And what I loved was how you emphasized that our past experience isn't a burden, but a powerful asset.
Precisely. We delve deep into the power of transferable skills. Think about it. All those years of working, managing, problem solving, communicating, those are valuable skills that can be applied in countless new directions. They are the foundation upon which our next act is built.
It's so empowering to reframe our experience that way. Instead of thinking, I've only ever done X, it becomes, I've developed skills in A, B, and C, which are crucial for Y. Then, we discussed shifting our identity. This is where it gets really exciting, right?
It is. Shifting your identity is about moving from what I was to who I am becoming. It's about recognizing that you're not defined solely by your past roles or career. You are a dynamic individual with evolving aspirations. This shift unlocks so much potential for authentic living.
And to help visualize this new identity, we had that wonderful exercise of crafting your new narrative through vision boarding. Painting a clear picture of your future, not just in abstract terms, but with tangible goals and desires.
Vision boarding is such a powerful tool for making the abstract concrete. It gives your aspirations a visual anchor. And once that vision is clear, the next step is the courage to launch. We explored taking that first bold step, no matter how small it might seem.
That first step can be the hardest, but it's also the most exhilarating. It ignites momentum. And speaking of momentum, we learned about leveraging your network, building those bridges to connect with others who can support and guide you.
Your network is invaluable. It's a source of information, opportunities, and encouragement. And as you step into new roles or ventures, continuous learning becomes paramount. We highlighted the importance of learning and growing, embracing new knowledge and skills.
We're all lifelong learners, aren't we? And throughout any reinvention journey, there will inevitably be challenges. We equipped you with resilience, how to overcome setbacks and view them not as failures, but as opportunities to learn and adapt.
Resilience is the bounce back factor. It's what keeps you moving forward even when things get tough. And you don't have to do it alone. We emphasize the power of community and support, finding your tribe.
Having that community, people who cheer you on, offer advice, and understand your journey, makes all the difference. It transforms a solitary pursuit into a shared adventure. And that brings us to integrating your passions, crafting a life of purpose and joy.
That was the culmination, wasn't it? Finding that sweet spot where your skills, your passions, and your values align, creating a life that feels truly fulfilling. It's not just about a new job or a new hobby. It's about a deeper sense of purpose.
So here we are at the end of our series. We've covered recognizing the call for change, building confidence, leveraging our experience, shifting our identity, envisioning our future, taking bold steps, using our networks, committing to lifelong learning, building resilience, finding our support systems, and finally, integrating our passions for a life of purpose and joy.
It's a comprehensive roadmap for anyone embarking on their second act success. Remember, this isn't a single event. It's an ongoing process of growth and reinvention. The confidence you've built, the skills you've identified, the vision you've crafted, these are tools you'll carry forward.
Each episode has provided building blocks. The confidence you gained allows you to take the bold step we discussed. Your transferable skills make your networked connections more impactful. It's all interconnected.
And this concluding episode, looking back and moving forward, is about integrating all those lessons. It's about acknowledging the progress you've made and feeling empowered to continue creating a life that is vibrant, meaningful, and uniquely yours. Your second act is not just a phase. It's an invitation to a lifetime of exciting possibilities.
So, as we wrap up, I want to encourage everyone to revisit the episodes that spoke to them most. Keep applying those principles. Keep nurturing that confidence. Keep learning. Your journey is just beginning.
And remember, the courage you've found today will fuel the adventures of tomorrow. Embrace the unknown with enthusiasm, trust in your abilities, and continue to build a life that fills you with purpose and joy.
Thank you, Alex, for guiding us through this incredible series. And thank you to our listeners for joining us on this transformative journey.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for listening to the series.